Ron and Sam decide that they're not going to attend, to make a statement. She's all like, what? Like she's trying to get them to react to them not being there.
Why are you looking at me like that? What did you guys do?
Hi, I'm Ray Arcade. Welcome to my channel. The last time we were at the Jersey Shore house, the gang had returned to Seaside and things got crazy really quick. New roomie Dina had showed Mike her kuka on the first night and then got into a fight with Ronnie and Sam, leading to Snooki joining in on the fight and Jenny and Sammy throwing fists again. What will happen next? Let's find out as you take my hand on this Jersey Shore retrospective. Today we are covering Jersey Shore Season 3, Episode 2 called It's Gonna Be an Interesting Summer, and it premiered on January 13th, 2011. We open where we left off with Jenny and Sammy getting into it.
Stop!
I feel like Jenny really blew her chance here to get in some good punches on Sammy. Like, she completely misses. And I thought she was supposed to be like the karate master. So I'm a little confused. Sammy, on the other hand, is tugging on Jenny's extensions like she's playing tug of war in Squid Game and her life depends on it. Sammy is the type of girl that would immediately go for another girl's hair. It's not cool. Not a girl's girl. That's not how we do it where I'm from.
Yes, Sensei.
A lot of rules. On the street, we didn't have any rules. Maybe one. No kicks to the groin. Home for dinner.
Just kidding. I've never been in a fight a day in my life. Sammy and Snooki start fighting with each other, and it's super annoying because Sammy just keeps screaming at Snooki to shut up, shut up, shut up, and how you fucked me, blah, blah, blah. Like, how? The delusion. It's like she's full on in delusion right now. And all of this whole day is before Sammy started being shown Season 2, right? Because when they got there, Season 2 didn't start premiering until 4 days after their first day at the Shore House. So Sammy's being like an awful, terrible person without having seen Season 2 yet to justify this behavior. She's just being like a nasty girl. And I feel like the further Sammy had gotten away from Miami before she got a nice little refresher, like a little God's view of everything that happened, she confused herself about who the real villain was.
It's wrong.
Sammy's expressing how she feels alone in the house, like it's her versus 3 trash bags. LOL. And it's true. I mean, all she has is Ronnie, which is what a great consolation prize. We get a glimpse of the meatballs beginning to display their meatball behavior.
My cook is out.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Let's go somewhere else.
I feel like getting drunk with Nicole and Dina would be really fun. I'm only 5'2", so it would be great because I would feel like a giant next to them, and I never get to feel that way. You can't. No. We got a cat again. What do you think about Ronnie and Sam?
Huh?
Very cool. Mike is waking everyone up, and he goes to wake up Ronnie and Sam.
Come on, guys, get up. And I want, like, you guys to not, like, even though there was, like, a big argument last night, it, you know what I'm saying? We're like, a family and all, so.
Enough of the family.
Okay, hold dude. I'm trying to involve you with everything. I'm trying to involve you guys to make sure it's not awkward with anything,
I'm tired of the whole family bull.
Woohoo, welcome back, Red Flag. I lost this. I got it back. So we're red flagging here. Ron and Sam are basically admitting they don't like anybody. They know nobody likes them. I don't really see the point in them being there other than the fact that they just want to be miserable and probably were getting paid at this point. So they just showed up to be miserable and get paid. But Mike is being really nice here. The boys and Sam go to the gym and Sam just looks sad and miserable while the girls go out to get spray tans and some drinks. And they look like they're having a great time. It's a dichotomy.
Funny that I dress like this and give off like tough sort of thing going on. And then I cry to Phoebe Bridgers in the shower and I listen to Sea Rose and Boy Genius. And the dichotomy is crazy.
That night, it's the first night out, the roommates all go to Karma Gonna go to Karma on your first night back in Seaside Heights and have a really great time. Ron and Sam decide they're going to stay home. There's some antics at the club. Vinny gets a little stalker. Snooky hides in a bush. There's some girls that are three-way kissing. Jenny gets home from the club and she calls Tom.
But I just wanted to call you. Just get on the phone.
You want to talk?
Get off the phone. So can you
She
please
needs
get
to
off
call
the
her
phone?
dad.
Yeah, happy anniversary to you too.
Happy.
Oops. Whoopsie. Vinny and Mike bring a girl back home from the club who seems very down to fuck. But Vinny sneaks away with her, sneaks her into the smush room, locks Mike out. Mike's banging on the door, saying, hey, caring and sharing, banging on the door and stuff. And Mike says that he was hoping Vinny would maybe play rock, paper, scissors, shoot over this girl. Like she's like a holographic Pokemon in the 6th grade and you and your friend went in on a pack together. So they're trying to decide who gets it. I think in this moment, what really was happening was that he wanted Vinny to open the door so they could get like a male threesome going on. And you cannot convince me otherwise.
What is it?
It's a situation. Made himself. He actually locked the door, and he did get a little selfish. You know, we could have shot straws. Yeah, leave the open. You know, rock, paper, scissors.
Also, while I'm here, there are some times where Mike seems very out of it. A lot of it, I'm sure, can be attributed to alcohol, but with hindsight, we know now that Mike was also on pills, particularly Roxicet, which is oxycodone and acetaminophen used to treat pain. It's an opioid. In Miami, Mike had literally run away from the crew, the cameras, production, to try to get a drug hookup. When that happened, production staff and the showrunners wrote a clause into Situation's contract saying if he ever went on any little solo adventures anymore, he would lose money from his paycheck. The good news for drug addict Mike was that he was back home in New Jersey where he had all of his friends and drug connections. The bad news was that production had a constant eye on Mike, so he had to get a little innovative. He had gotten weight loss supplement pills, opened up all the capsules, dumped the inside out, had ground up a bunch of Roxicet, put that inside the capsules, put them back together, put them in the pill bottle, bada bing, bada boom. You got 500 pills of opioids to last you through the summer. Wow. Genius. There's definitely times where he's noticeably on drugs, so I just wanted to get that out there before I forgot. The next morning, Ron and Sam wake up, they take one of the Escalades, and they go to church. And then they spend the rest of the day out. The other cast members get in the other Escalade. They go to the gym, they do GTL, they do all that stuff. They get home, they decide to make their first Sunday family dinner. But Ron and Sam decide that they're not going to attend, to make a statement.
So we come to Sunday dinner to like squash all our differences, and if Sam and Ronnie don't show up, it means they're not interested in squashing their differences.
After dinner, Ron and Sam get back to the house. Ron's kind of moving around like an ashamed dog, but Sammy's all smiles. Things are a little awkward. Sammy sits down at the table that's just been cleaned up, and Vinny's looking a little put off. Polly looks a little bothered. She's all like, what? Like she's trying to get them to react to them not being there. She's trying to provoke them. She wants them to acknowledge that her and Ron were not at family dinner, but she's like,
why are you looking at me like that? What did you guys do?
and for some reason, out of everybody, Polly seems the most upset about this. Polly is not a very emotional guy, so something about his body language and the way he half joking, but still brings up the fact that Ron and Sam were in at family dinner, to me says that he actually cares.
You guys totally missed Sunday dinner.
I could care less.
Sammy definitely is acting like a little spoiled bratish.
This girl. Ugh, Vinny's right. She's being a spoiled brat. And I love that he cannot hide the annoyance on his face. But oh my God, Sammy. Stop. Stop it. The gang goes to the Shore store where they are getting their schedules because they will be working there again in the summer. You know, I visited the Shore store. Like, when I was younger, I'm sure I went to the Shore store a handful of times while I'm down there, but it was just a store then. I moved, Jersey Shore blew up, I visited home, I went to the Shore store, and I was like, hey, there's Danny. I didn't say anything to him, but I was like, that's Danny. Cool story. But whatever, Snooki writes down the schedule for everybody. Ron and Sam are like, I want to write on my own schedule, because at this point, they're just trying to provoke everybody. Whatever. That night, on the roof deck, Polly, Vinny, and the girls, minus Sam, talk about Sam.
I feel like me and Jenny, we still care about this girl and the fact that she... You don't?
No.
No.
No?
Not at all?
No.
There you go. That's fine.
Jenny kills me here. No. She's got that like Robert De Niro stink face going on. No. And I don't blame her. I think she's totally justified in hating Sammy at this moment in time. Also, if Sammy had yanked on my hair like she yanked on Jenny's, I too would never talk to her again. Mike and Ronnie are talking on the balcony about doing a fun boardwalk night with Vinny. Sammy appears in the background like a cartoon villain overhearing plans. She is not pleased with the idea of a roommate boardwalk night. Not at all. They all go out, like everybody, the whole house goes out, and everybody's having a really good time, except Sam. I don't know why she decided to go out. Her main motivation must have been to just cast a pall on the evening and make everybody feel uncomfortable when they're around her. She also reminds me of a mom because she refuses to go on any of the rides. Like your mom on vacation, you're like, come on, Mom, come on the ride. And she's like, no, you go, you have fun. Why do moms do that?
So we all decide to go on rides, and pretty much all the roommates are having fun. But then we look over at Sam, and Sam's not going on any rides. Sam has a puss face on. Sam, why did you even come out if you're not even gonna hang out with us and have a good time?
Why do they do that? Ron's having a blast, and I'm just theory crafting here. But part of me wonders if maybe Sam is super pissed off because Ron put her in this weird position in the house where suddenly she's fighting with all of the girls and he gets to have fun. Right? He causes all this trauma. He gets off scot-free and gets to have fun and friends and laugh and stuff, whereas Sam feels awkward and uncomfortable, and it's all because of him. So I'm thinking she resents him because of that. Also, tangentially, this is the time where Jersey Shore starts having trouble filming things in public places. If you pay close attention to this clip, you'll see that there's security and cops surrounding them as they're walking on the boardwalk. At certain points when the cast is up on the deck, you can hear people screaming their names. And you can just see in most public locations, people are just following them around. Because at this point, the show is super big. They have actual fans. And it's easy to notify your friend, oh my God, Jersey Shore is filming on the boardwalk. It's not that big. You can find them pretty quickly. So I think the producers are starting to have a hard time creating the genuine feel of the show while there's like hundreds of people around. Sammy's up on the room balcony crying. I think this is where you can tell that Sammy has watched a couple of episodes of Miami Season 2.
You're thinking something. Miami. You're being
The hardest thing you can do is look back and see what the person who you love has done to you.
Ronnie immediately knows that she's talking about Miami. And Sammy says the worst thing you can do is look back at how someone's treated you. And to me, look back really implies she's literally looked back at it through the episodes. And here it seems like Sammy's just randomly pulling baggage up from Miami after what we were shown seemed like a good couple of months between Miami and Season 3. Sam also says, you lied to me for like 2 straight months in Miami, straight to my face, which, how else would she be getting the truth now other than seeing the episodes? Ronnie says,
At least I came home to you. Where I was.
I would rather you not come in my bed.
I hate this man. The way he is trying to spin cheating on his girlfriend and then going home and sleeping in her bed as like a positive thing, a faithful thing, is so disgusting. I feel like they just watched the episode where Ron was to the boys like, you know what? Now I'm going to go sleep in bed with my girl. I think they just watched that and he's trying to turn it from something that was clearly supposed to be disrespectful into, well, you're not understanding right. I was coming home to sleep in bed with you because I care about you. Like he's trying to manipulate the situation where he looks like a good guy. Like she's not stupid. She has 2 eyes and 2 ears. Ron says,
I realize, if she did that to me, I'd probably be really fucked up in the head too. But I mean, it's got to get to a point where it's like, you either get over it or you move on. And it's like, if you can't get over it, then you just got to move on.
and you know what? I agree with him here. Sam is living in a purgatory in this relationship, and she's miserable, and we're all miserable watching it. They get into a fight, and there's so many times that they say talk in this scene, and the more upset they get, the more walk they put on it.
Let me talk. You just talk. Now it's my turn to talk, okay?
Don't talk to me like that.
Okay, so then I won't talk to you at all.
Don't talk to me.
How about that?
I definitely don't deserve to be talked to the way you're talking to me right now.
When you asked me for a question, I got your answer. If you don't like the answer, don't ask the question. Talk.
The episode ends with Sam asking herself, how could I love a guy who disrespects me so much? That's a really good question, Sam. Do you think it's normal for people to have at least one super toxic relationship in their life like Sam has with Ron? Or do you think that this is a rare instance? Because I feel like I kind of remember having that sort of relationship in my early 20s. Is it a canon event? Because it's something you have to go through. Do you feel like when you were in it at the time, things seemed totally normal and reasonable, but the further you get away from it, you're like, damn, that was fucking crazy. Also, I forgot to do comments this week. I'm gonna do 2 next week. I barely have my life together. I forgot about the red flag for like 2 episodes. I'm keeping it together barely. So I will do 2 comments next week. So leave me some comments. What will happen next time? Will Sammy ever make up with the girls? Will Ronnie start isolating Sam because he wants to participate in the group and she doesn't? Will Mike ever get to see any of his friends' wieners? Because it seems like that's what he wants. We'll find out next time. Until then, I'm Ray Arcade. Stay crazy, stay wild. Goodbye. Beep, 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 beep.